Okay, so hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today in this webinar. So my name is Kauthar Barakat. I'm the Professional Development Subcommittee Coordinator for this mandate in IPSF EMRO. We are glad to have you all today with us in this webinar, and welcome to our special coach today, Mr. Uday Baqeen, who will be joining us. So today our webinar is a special one. It's about the mock interview and CV skills. It's a training webinar, and it's the first project for this mandate for the Professional Development Subcommittee. So as a Professional Development Subcommittee project, so we aim to address students and pharmacy students and also pharmacists in training. So our projects focus on enhancing the skills. So it's not only about the clinical skills, but also about the personal skills and the skills that you need to ace your all the aspects related to your work and to your preparations as well. So that's why today we'll be starting our journey for this mandate with the CV writing and the interview skills, because this is your gate to all the other opportunities that you have, and you can join as a pharmacist in the near future, inshallah. So I would like to welcome again Mr. Uday Baqeen. So I'll just give you a brief introduction about our special guest today who will be giving us this webinar. So Mr. Uday Baqeen is the co-founder and the managing partner at 180 Degrees, and he excels in finance, oversight, HR management, education, and he has diverse roles in logistics, sales, and project coordination, with a mechanical engineering degree, certifications, and community engagement. His dynamic leadership and expertise drive impactful growth across multiple domains. So welcome again, Mr. Uday, and we are glad to have you with us today in this webinar. And I'm sure like your expertise will add a lot to us, and we will learn a lot from you, inshallah. So let me just give you a brief insight about the workshop highlights, and then I'll give the floor to our coach, Mr. Uday. So in today's workshop, we will have mainly two parts. The first one is crafting your CV. So we will learn about the arts of creating a compelling CV that stands out. And in the second part, we'll talk about the interviews. So we will gain practical tips and techniques to ace the interviews and to have the best skills that you can to consider for acing your interviews. So with that said, I would like to give the floor to Mr. Uday to start introducing himself and also to introduce us to the webinar today. So the floor is yours, Coach Uday.
Thank you so much, Kauthar. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for attending today's session. First thing, you want me to speak in Arabic or English? Or both? English for Hind.
We can go with English, so because maybe we have some non-Arabic speakers, so it will be easier for everyone.
Okay.
That's so sweet.
Okay, and someone asked for Arabic. If anyone had any question, please don't hesitate to talk or to ask any question, or Malika in English. Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Uday Baqeen, or Baqeen. I'm the co-founder and managing partner at 180 Degrees for Empowering People. We are a training and a consultation company specialized in soft skills. I'm glad to be with you all. I'm happy to see 77 participants joining the platform. That's amazing. Fine. For today's session, because we don't have plenty of time, we will discuss two main topics, CV writing and the interview skills. And I would also love to go through the LinkedIn profile as well, because this is something essential for the workplace in the future. Muhammad, you have a question? Muhammad Ibrahim. لا, you don't have a question. Please, whenever you have any question, you can ask, and you can raise your hand, or you can turn on the mic and ask your question. Okay? But before we start, let me check that everyone here is alive and listening to us. If you are interested in this topic, please raise your hand or turn on the mic and say, I'm interested. Okay. And you can also turn on the camera if you wish. Okay. Okay. That's amazing. طيب. Ready to start? شكله yes. Okay. Before we start with presentation, let me ask you a question. Who knows the difference between a CV and a resume? If you know the difference between, يلا Hind, can you tell us? What's the difference between a CV and a resume? Who can open the mic and give us his feedback? The difference between a CV and a resume.
I think that CV is more detailed than resume.
CV is more detailed than a resume. Okay. طيب, when do we use the CV? Hind.
Where actually CV is generally longer and more detailed than resume. And the purpose of CV is to showcase one's entire career trajectory, making it visible of academic research, scientific positions. And
Okay.
the resume, however, is tailored for specific job application, highlighting qualification and experience most relevant to the position. The CV follow chronological order. Resumes, in contrast, are more flexible, allowing a different structure like chronological function or a combination of both. And there is also personal information. CVs may include personal information, whether in resumes, personal information focus more on professional information relevant to the job. Thank you.
Okay. طيب, when we say that the CV is longer than the resume, does it mean that we can write, or how many pages can we write for the CV? Who can guess? How many pages for the CV and how many pages for the resume? Lena. If you know the answer, you can write it in chat. 11 pages for a CV, I guess. Okay. طيب, can we write 20 pages for the CV? Who will read it? 4 pages? No. Okay. How many pages for the resume? Okay, Lena, 2 pages. Okay, resume 1 page, CV 2 to 3 pages. Farida 1. Okay. 2 to 3 pages is enough. Okay. So let's start with the difference between a CV and a resume. Then we'll get back to some difficult questions to answer. Okay. Today we'll talk about 3 things: CV, resume, and the cover letter. And if we didn't have enough time to finish all of them, I can send you templates to use for future purposes. For the CV, CV is a Latin word which means course of life, which describes the whole course of your career. So you can write everything in your CV that describes your history or career history. We can write up to 10 pages or 15 pages for a CV. For example, if I'm 24 years old, on average, it could be 2 to 3 pages for the CV. If I'm 35 or 40 years old, for sure, the CV will be above 6 or 7 pages. That means when we use a CV, we will use minimum of 8 to 9 to 8 to 10 pages when I'm 40 to 45 years old. CV usually used in USA and Canada for the academic applications, academic or trainings or consultations. Okay, if you are looking for a job in academic, consultation, or training field, usually you use the CV. In Europe, we usually send the resume. In South Africa, they use the CV instead of resume. Here in Jordan, the HR doesn't know. The HR don't know the difference between a CV and the resume, so they usually ask for a CV. But the best practice is to use the resume according to the job. To talk more about that, let's see what to include in a CV. First thing to include in a CV is the contact information. And we will see a template that shows what are the contact information details that we should search for or look for. Second thing is the research objective, or some people call it the summary. So some people use the summary at the beginning of the CV. Okay, I mute. At the beginning of the CV to give us a brief description about the person who is sending his CV. Third thing is the education, professional academic appointments, books. If I wrote any book or a chapter, or I reviewed any publication, other publications, for example, for the if I used it for the educational or training field, if I published any article, I can mention that in the CV. Awards and honors, grants and fellowships, conferences, especially if I attended any conference that is related to my field, any teaching experience, research experience, non-academic activities, number 14. Non-academic activities is related to my volunteering experience. So if I'm someone who is volunteering with any NGO, this is something I have to mention in the CV. Languages and skills, memberships, and finally the references. Before we go deeper in each one of this, let me show you an example of a CV. Okay, this is the template I usually use for the CV. Okay, لحظة before showing the template. I have some questions. Okay, طيب. Okay. Do you prefer having a design for the CV, or it should be black and white? And why?
Black and white.
Black and white.
I prefer design.
Prefer a design. Okay, simple design. We can add some flowers, butterflies. Design with simple. Okay. طيب. When we send our CV, should we add our picture or not? Personal photo. Should we add it or not?
I think yes.
I think yes. طيب.
We can add professional personal photo.
Professional photo. Okay. طيب. What about the location? Should we add the location? What
Yep.
about the age?
I don't think we should add any personal information.
We should add the location. What about the age or date of birth? What about the should I mention if I'm single, married, divorced, or anything like that? General location, yes. Detailed location, no. Okay. So I shouldn't add my status if I'm single or married. Okay, طيب. Let me show you this template that I usually use. طيب. Okay. This is the template I use for the CV. First thing, the contact information. For the name, I usually prefer to write your name in 3 parts, because usually in the Arab region we have some common names between the first and family name. So we usually prefer to write your name in 3 parts. Mobile number, you should add the country code while adding your mobile number in case the HR department were not in the same country as you are. Third thing, email address, and it should be a professional email address. Don't use the same email address you made at the 6th grade. Cinderella@yahoo.com, Superman@yahoo.com, and other email addresses. You should write, or you should create a professional email address that include your name or family name, initials of your name, anything that relates to you. And the most important thing is the LinkedIn URL, because everyone will check your LinkedIn profile before calling you for an interview. And we will talk about the LinkedIn profile in a bit. And for the location, I usually prefer that you write a general location, not a specific one. And I usually prefer to write the location using the capital of your country. For example, here in Jordan, if I'm living in Zarqa and I'm looking for an opportunity in Amman, I always prefer to write Amman, Jordan, even if I'm living in Zarqa or Aqaba or Erbil, because if I'm not from Amman, they will not call me for an interview. So we prefer to write the capital location, Amman, Jordan. So in case I went to the interview, I will tell them my story that I'm living in Zarqa, but I'm capable of being on time if they let me in for this company. After that, we have 2 choices, either to start with the working experience or to start with the education. What is the best scenario, starting with the education or the working experience? What do you think?
Actually, starting with the education background, I think.
Education. Okay.
Yeah, education first.
Education. Why not the working experience?
Before you have the working experience, you had education first. So like, it's good to start from the start. Where did you start? So you had the working experience.
Like, what if I had some working experience while I'm studying? Start with the working experience. Would that give me some privilege? Experience, I think. Experience first. Maya.
Yes, hello. Can you hear
Hello,
me?
Maya. Yes, we can.
Yes, I wanted to tell you that if the student is a new graduate, then the education is first. But if he is like a graduated and have so many experiences and worked in many pharmacies or industries, then the
Maya, you have to unmute the mic, or someone came to the room. Okay. Maya, whenever you are ready, you can turn on your mic. Hello. For me, what I think is if I have 5 years or less experience in work, I prefer to start with the education, because my education will direct the career path I'm going through. If I had more than 6 years experience in working, we can start with the working experience because I already choose my career path. So for me, I have 15 years of experience, so I will start with the working experience. When starting with the working experience, you have to start with the most recent job and then going back in time. For me, starting with 180 degrees for important people, then you have to start and you have to mention the date of starting your career till present, for example, for now, the position And the most important thing is to mention the duties and responsibilities in your CV. Why do we write the duties and responsibilities in the CV? This is the most important thing. Why do we write it? And I guess I prefer to write the location you are willing to start your career with. Yes. Why do we write the duties and responsibilities in the CV?
So that people knows what we were doing in our previous jobs, so that they can compare regarding like
Okay.
the responsibility that they want.
Okay, amazing. This is one thing. Apply for a specific position. Correct. What else?
Like it's to show the difference between you and the other competitors for this position.
Mm-hmm. And what if everyone is using the same template?
Like this will be shown in the interview that they will.
If they call me for an interview. Guys, nowadays we are looking for any job or applying for any job using LinkedIn or the website for the company. So the first filter for before the interview is the system used by the website or the LinkedIn. So if the HR published a post looking for someone, he will add the job description and he will mention the top skills or keywords he is looking for in the CV. So we write the duties and responsibilities, not just to show what did we do in the last position or what we are capable of, but also to add the keywords for the future jobs we are looking for. For example, if I'm now working as a project coordinator and I'm looking for another job as a project manager, so I have to mention the keywords for the project manager job description in my previous work in the duties and responsibilities. So the duties and responsibilities, the main purpose for it is to write the keyword for the future jobs we are looking for that we will write it in the previous jobs, the duties and responsibilities. So when we apply for any job using the LinkedIn or the website of the company, the website itself will match our CV with the job description according to the keyword that is written in the duties and responsibilities. So we have to make sure that in all the duties and responsibilities, we have to enter or to write all the keywords for the future job we are looking for. Or our CV, it will not be matched to the job description in the system. This is the main important thing. So we have to write the keywords for the future jobs we are looking for inside the duties and responsibilities for the previous jobs. Is that clear? Any question about that? You're welcome, ya Zahra. Okay. So when we start with the working experience or even with the education, we go from the present till and we go to past years. So I write the positions according to the timeline. Next Gen, Dale Carnegie, private tutoring, 16th of May, ticketing box office, teacher at Amman Private School, and so on. And after finishing all the working experience, I have to mention the education or scientific degrees. For anyone who had 5 years or below experience, we'll start with the education and then the working experience. For the scientific degrees or the education, we have to mention the university and high school. If you had a complete grade at university or a higher grade at university or college or a school, you have to mention that. After the education, you have all the languages that you are capable of: Arabic, English, French, Chinese, whatever languages you have. And then the computer skills is required for your career, any training courses you took during the university or after that. But when we write the training courses, we have to mention three important things. The first thing is the name of the course as it's written in the certificate. Second thing, the date of the certificate and the center or the company I took the certificate with. We have to mention those three things for us as HR or recruiters to believe that those trainings that you already took. Training courses should be written according to the timeline for starting with the first course and up to the most recent one. After the training courses, you have to mention your activities. Activities is the volunteering experience or voluntary work you've done during your college or your studies or after you finish or graduated. And for me personally, I advise everyone to be a member of an NGO or a charity or something that is related to voluntary work inside his community. This will build new skills in your personality and character and will make you more efficient at your work. After the activities, we have to mention the personal skills. But for me, I prefer to write the personal skills at the end of the CV. Some people write it at the beginning of the CV. I prefer to make it at the end of the CV. Why? Because before reaching the personal skills, I'm giving an evidence of each item or element in the personal skills before getting to it. So every word written in the personal skills should have an evidence. This evidence should be inside the work experience or voluntary experience or the training courses. So my advice is when you are, do we write the GPA? Yeah, you can write the GPA if you had a great one. Let me show you an example. For me, I had a GPA of 4, but it's not, يعني شوي it's hidden. I think I wrote it in white, not in black. If you had a great GPA or high GPA, yes, you have to write it. How can we know the keywords? I will tell you now how can you know the keywords. Yes, the GPA matters, of course, if it's high. For the personal skills, everything you write in the personal skills should have an evidence in your CV. Okay? This is something important. Why? I have a question before we continue. Shall we write every working experience we had, even if what about it wasn't that good? You can write it in white, as I did. What about we had a working experience that is not related to my education? Shall we add it to the CV or not? No. Yes. If it's related, yes. But what if it's not related? Shall we add it to the CV or not? Okay. Guys, we have to know something important. Okay. How many generations do we have in the workplace now? How many generations do we have? Depending on the job description. Okay. 3 generations. How many generations do we have? 5 generations. Okay. 3 or 4 generations. طيب. طيب without using the whiteboard. Okay. طيب. Let's write it in chat. Guys, we have 4 generations in the workplace nowadays. The first generation is called baby boomers, 1946 till 1964. Second generation, Generation X, 1965 till 1980. Third generation is Y, 1981 till 1995. And the fourth generation, Generation Z, 1996 till 2010. And of course, we have Generation Alpha that is not in the work, didn't start working, 2011 till today. You are all from Generation Z, right? Everyone here from Generation Z. Right. For you as Generation Z, most probably the people who will consider your CV or you will have interview with will be from Generation Y. Generation Y, 1981 to 1995. This generation is probably known with how practical they are. So for them, they prefer to have someone who have more skills better than someone who has more knowledge. So if you had a working experience not related to your education, I prefer to add it to your CV because that will show how much skills do you have more than other people who sent their CV didn't have any work experience. So for Generation Y, they prefer to show them your experiences and skills, not just your education. And if you had a 4 GPA, but you didn't have any working experience, this is not a privilege. Working experience, even if it's not related to your education, is better than having a higher GPA without any working experience. So for Generation Y, I prefer to write any working experience, even if it's not related to your education. Okay? Because we are dealing also with Generation Y, one of the best tools to apply for any job is using the LinkedIn profile. And to apply for any job using the LinkedIn or to be headhunted or recruited through the LinkedIn platform. My question is, how many of you have a LinkedIn profile? By raising your hand. Okay. Who else? Okay. 15 out of 90. What about the rest? I have one. Okay. How many of you have more than 30K followers or connections on LinkedIn? No one? Fatima, Farida, or Mariam, you have more than 30K followers? Fatima. Wala, you have more than 30K? Amazing. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the LinkedIn profile because it's much more important than the CV. طيب. We'll share the screen. Okay. LinkedIn profile. First thing, you have to add your profile picture, profile. Simple one, formal one, and also you have to add the cover photo. How can we add a cover photo? You can use Canva or you can use Google to find the cover photo you are looking for that describes a little bit about your education or working experience to use it for the LinkedIn. Your name, you can write your name in Arabic and English or in English, but don't write it in Arabic alone because no one will find you on LinkedIn. The contact info, You have to add all the contact info, so anyone can reach you. You can add your mobile number, email, or you can only add your email address. For the About section, this is the most important thing on LinkedIn. The About section, it's similar to the summary we use on the CV or in the CV. For me personally, I don't prefer to write the summary in the CV because no one reads it. But for the About section in the LinkedIn profile, you have to write something about yourself. For me, I prefer this template, use it to talk about yourself. This is a brief template, will make everyone interested to read more about yourself. I will send it to you, the messages. Okay. This is the template I use for the About section. But the most important thing on LinkedIn is using the hashtags inside the About section. When you use the hashtags inside the About section, that means that your profile will be viewed more and will appear more in search when anyone is searching for any keyword in your About section. For example, let me show you the analytics of my profile. Okay, this is the analytics. Okay, the post impressions. In the past 7 days, I had 7,000 post impression, 861 profile views, 31K followers, 312 search appearance in the last 7 days, which is kind of because of the hashtags in the About section. Okay, so you have to write the hashtag, the proper hashtags that is related to your education or working experience inside the About section. When you finish your CV, you can add every work experience, education, and training course to your LinkedIn profile. And by the way, the template of the CV is similar to the template of the LinkedIn profile. So you can add everything you wrote in the CV in the LinkedIn profile, so you have a similar portfolio. And this is something also important on the LinkedIn, which is recommendation. You can ask for a recommendation from your doctor or your manager or team leader to write some recommendation about you on the LinkedIn. You can ask for a recommendation if you are connected with that person. The most important thing on LinkedIn is to make your profile attractive to headhunters and recruiters. How can we do that? Using the right content through writing the right content on LinkedIn. Usually for the content on LinkedIn, we have two concepts. We have the general content and the specific one. For the general content, we can add pictures of quotes or motivational videos or any motivational content we can add to our LinkedIn profile that will make people engage with us. For the specific content, we can write something related to our work experience or education that will show our expertise in this field. For example, if I'm an accountant and looking for a job in accounting, I have to show in my LinkedIn profile that I'm an expert in accounting. How can we do that in the specific content? For example, we can start with a campaign in January. During the January, let's say that the campaign would be about what are the most important skills the accountant should have. I can start with a simple post and write the following. Hello everyone, my name is Uday, and during January I will be writing a content to show the most important skills that is required for an accountant to be a professional in his field. The first skill an accountant should have is to have a great communication skills with everyone in the company or the organization. The importance of the communication skills is and I can write a simple post, 1 or 2 paragraphs, and then add the hashtags similar to the hashtags I already added to my About section. and then post it. If I kept posting according to this campaign, people will start noticing my profile as a professional accountant who is posting about accounting on LinkedIn. So any HR, headhunter, or recruiter looking for an accountant, they will notice my profile because of the content I'm uploading on LinkedIn. And that will make it more easy for me to get offers from companies or organizations before I even send them my CV. And if I had any job post, or if I know any company that I'm interested in working at, one of the things I can do is, for example, I'm looking to or dreaming to work with PwC. What I can do on LinkedIn is the following. I can search everyone working at PwC and start connecting with everyone there. So if I'm writing a consistent content on LinkedIn, they will definitely notice my profile and tell the HR department if they needed someone as me to fill any position. And I can search for the HR working at PwC and connect with them and prepare a formal message to use on LinkedIn to send it with the CV to apply for any job. Also, I can use the LinkedIn to apply for jobs easily. For example, if I'm an industrial engineer, looking for something in industrial engineering. Okay, industrial engineer in Jordan, we have so many companies looking for an industrial engineer. This is an easy apply job. All my details are already written on LinkedIn. I can start the application. Okay, this is next. The CV is already ready. Review. My profile is already done. Submit application. I can submit an application on LinkedIn in less than 30 seconds. The thing is, before submitting for any job on LinkedIn, I have to read about this job. So for the people who ask how to find the keywords for the duties and responsibilities, easily you can read about the job at LinkedIn, and you can use the job brief or keywords used in the job post and use it in your CV. So when you do that, the LinkedIn will match your CV with the job description or responsibilities posted by the HR. And another important thing, which is skills. For me, for example, I have three skills on my profile matching with the job post. 7 skills are missing. For example, business process improvement, industrial engineer, lead management, quality, and so on. What I can do is adding those skills to my profile. And for me, I can't add more skills because I already wrote 50 skills. But if I have less than 50 skills on LinkedIn, I can add those skills before applying for the job. So I can make sure that the LinkedIn will match my profile with the job post. Any question on the LinkedIn? Thank you, Omar. Can we share or react with posts that support something like yes and yes, you can, of course. Should I write my posts only in English? I prefer to write it in English or in Arabic. I usually don't prefer to use both languages in the same post. You can write a post in Arabic, another one in English. Any question about the LinkedIn? All clear? Okay, great. Amazing. Let's talk now about the interview skills. Let's share the slides. Okay, who had an interview? Anyone had an interview before? Kauthar? Okay. Interview skills. If you don't know the answer in an interview, what would you do? If the HR asked you a question and you didn't know the answer, what should you do? What's the best thing to do? Answer generally, okay? Make up an answer. Okay, طيب. Keep calm and stay silent. Okay, but they have 50 applicants outside knowing the answer. Ask for some explain maybe. Okay, great. طيب, we'll answer that in a bit. Teaching points for the interview skills. First thing, first impression. What do we mean by the first impression, and how can we have a great first impression at the start of the interview? Style, okay, body language. What else? Confidence. Okay. What else? What makes the best first impression? Facial expressions. Okay, great. First thing, be on time. This is the most important thing. If my interview is at 9 a.m., I should be at the company or the organization 20 minutes before. Not at 8:45, 8:50, 8:55. I have to be 20 minutes earlier to the interview. Second thing, dress code. What should we dress for an interview? Formal. What do we mean by formal? Formal or semi-formal. For boys, what is the meaning of formal? And for girls, what is the meaning of formal? Suit. Okay. طيب. Or I prefer always to be formal at any interview. No matter where you are going to have an interview, I prefer always to be formal before going to the interview. Because the HRs or recruiters who is interviewing us will be usually from Generation Y. For Generation Y, they prefer to see someone who is wearing a formal, who is wearing formal for an interview. That means that he did some effort before this interview. So we usually prefer to have a formal suit. Abaya, no. I prefer always formal. Please smile and be yourself. Always smile before entering any room. Okay? If you are smiling, they will do the same. Always smile and be yourself. Number 4, body language. I have a question. What is the most important thing? Is it the words you said while answering the questions? Is it the tone of voice or your body language? What's the most important thing? Words, tone of voice, or body language? Body language, okay. What about my answers? Tone of voice, both words, tone of voice, or body language? The most important thing when incongruent is the body language. Yani, people see the body language before hearing the words I said. For example, let's have an example. Okay. Can you all open the mics? Okay, open the mic. Okay, don't worry about the noise. Just open the mic. Okay. Be ready, everyone, and get your hands ready. I will count till 3, and then we'll all. Okay, جاهزين؟ لا. Not everyone can open the mic. طيب. خلاص, we'll do this exercise later on. طيب. The most important thing in any interview is the body language. According to Mehrabian rule, 7% of the effect of any message is according to the verbal language, the words. 38% is because of the vocal language, the sounds, or we call it the paraverbal communication. 55% is because of the body language. So the impact of any message to people is because of the body language more than the tone of voice or the verbal communication. Okay. Number 5, be positive. Sometimes you will have some difficult situations inside the interview. For example, you ask for a cup of water and they didn't give you any water, or they said you shouldn't have, or anything. Always be positive to any difficult situation that you would face in the interview. Teaching point number 2. Always be prepared before going to the interview. What does that mean? There are some technical questions that you will be asked in the interview. You have to be aware of those technical questions. That is related to your work experience or education. They will always ask you, why do you think you are a good fit for this position? Always prepare a list of references, people they will ask them about you or your skills. Always prepare examples of achievements, list of skills and knowledge you have. Search about the topic before the interview, of course. Search for any technical question that you would face before the interview. Number 6, research the company or the university if you are applying for a master's degree. Research the company and try to know all the information about this company. When did they establish? Are they local, international, and other things? After the interview or at the end of the interview, of course, you can ask about next steps. After the interview, you can send a thank you letter after the interview. And number 9, you can connect with the HRs, recruiters, or the managers or team leaders that you faced in the interview using the LinkedIn platform. For me, I prefer to connect with anyone before the interview. For example, if I had a phone call from PwC and they asked to schedule an interview during the week, I will ask the HR who will be interviewing me during the week, and I will search for each one of them and connect with them through LinkedIn. And also, I can send them a message showing my interest and passion towards working at PwC before the interview. Teaching point number 3, level of communication. You have to keep your level of communication high, which means you have to be prepared for any question and to practice the answer before going to the interview. Practicing all types of questions, technical and soft skills questions, would make you more self-confident and will give you the opportunity to communicate on a higher level inside the interview. Another thing, here are some examples for tough questions Generation Y HRs usually use in the interview. The first one is, can you please tell us about yourself in 2 minutes? Who can answer this question? You know, if they ask me to tell them more about myself in 2 minutes, what should I say? What if the language is not our mother tongue? Is it still 7%? It's still 7%. If I practiced the body language and tone of voice, it will be 7%. Who can tell us what to say when they ask me to tell them about myself in 2 minutes? My previous experiences and education. Type, who can try? Who can tell us about himself in 2 minutes? Who can try? We need someone to tell us about himself in 2 minutes. Speaking about our ambition, our passion. Okay. My name, education, present experience, basic info. Malika, would you try telling us about yourself in 2 minutes? Malika, right? صح. Malika or Marah or Zahra? Who would like to try?
I'm not that good, but I'm gonna give it a try.
Yalla.
Hello everyone, my name is Azhar Muhammad. I'm a third year pharmacy student. I'm a proactive person who loves to give the first step in stuff he does. I count myself as a one who has a good communication skills with others. I'm too a flexible person who can stand or overcome the stresses or something that I have in my life. So that's it. I can't complete for 2 minutes, but that I can do.
Okay, this is 1 minute.
If someone asks me a question, I can go with it, but expressing
Just
myself
tell us
or
about
talking about
yourself in
myself,
2 minutes.
it's a long time for me.
Fine.
Oh, I have a question. If I
Yes.
have an interest like love watching anime or a hobby or something like that, can I mention it in the interview? Or it's something that they are not interested in, so it's not important?
It's not related at all to work.
Okay.
By the way, the question, tell us about yourself in 2 minutes, is a tough one. You have to write the answer, and you have to practice this answer. هلا. Some people said that you can tell them more information about yourself, name, education, present experience. This is all written in the CV. So you can't just repeat what is written in the CV. What if they asked the question, tell us about yourself, at the end of the interview? So you shouldn't mention everything or anything already written in the CV. What we answer in this question is talking about 3 things. The first thing is talking about our passion in life. Second thing, why do we think we are a good fit for the position? Number 3, what we are looking for in the company or organization. And we always start with a story. So we talk about our passion, strength points and mentioning or what we are looking for in the company. And we always start with a story. For example, what if I'm going to an interview at one of the banks here in Jordan? One of the most popular banks is Housing Bank. I can start with a small story to show my interest in working at Housing Bank. For example, I can start with my story. It's a real story. First of all, I want to thank you all for this interview. I was looking forward for this interview for years ago. I remember the first day I visited Housing Bank when I was 15 years old. I went to the bank with my father, and my father was in the army. And when we went to the bank the first time together, I saw this great and amazing environment. Everyone is working hardly, and the environment was healthy and positive. So I decided that time that I will visit the bank with my father every month, and I worked hard to enter the major I want, which is finance or business at the university, in order to have a high grade or high GPA, to have this opportunity to work at Housing Bank. So I just wanted to tell you that I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to have this interview in order to start my career path at Housing Bank, which was my dream since I was 15 years old. And then I can mention my passion, my strength points, and what I'm looking for at Housing Bank. So always start with a story when they ask you to tell them about yourself in 2 minutes. Another question Generation Y usually ask, tell us about yourself more. What are your strength points and your areas of improvement? Saying the strength points is easy. Mentioning the areas of improvement is something difficult. For the areas of improvement, we usually prefer to say something you already passed or you already developed in your personality during the past month or year. For example, if I'm going for an interview as a team leader, I can mention that I can mention my strength points, and for the areas of improvement, I could say that actually, I had a difficulty in the delegation skills in leadership. But fortunately, I had a leadership skills training during the past month, which talked about the delegation skills, and I'm looking forward to implement those skills in your organization in the next year. Third question: how do you feel under pressure? What is your career vision or study vision? And some of the HRs of the Y generation ask some difficult questions. Can you pick up an animal, car, or movie that reflects your character? I have to be prepared for all types of questions that will be asked during the interview. Okay? Any question about the interview skills? All clear? Fine. No question. Okay, great. I think now we have 10 minutes to answer any question about the CV, LinkedIn, or interview skills. Should I ask for time or think about these three? No, you can't ask for time. You have to be well prepared before the interview. I already gave you all the tips and the questions they usually ask. So you have to prepare yourself. By the way, before having the questions, for the CV template, for the CV, should we send the CV by email using a Word document format or PDF? PDF, Word, PDF. Why do we use the PDF? PDF is portable document format, which means portable document format. We always use the PDF. It's not because it can't be edited. We can use the PDF converter, but we use it because it's a portable document format. So if I send the CV from my mobile to another email, or if the HR use his laptop or mobile to open my CV, the document will be the template will be correct. There will be no missing in information, or the text will be all aligned together. So we use the PDF format, portable document format, when sending any important document. For the LinkedIn profile, what can I post on LinkedIn as an undergraduate? You can always post about the things you are learning at college, related to your education. So if you know some difficult topics you had as a student, you can always write hints or any information related to your topic, to your education, in order to raise the number of followers and profile views on your LinkedIn. By the way, for the content on LinkedIn, you should post daily on LinkedIn. Daily on LinkedIn, you can use general posts and you can use specific posts. But I prefer to post on daily basis on LinkedIn. For the CV template, I think I can send you an attachment. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Okay. CV template. If anyone is interested in the CV template, I already showed you. You can send me a message on LinkedIn, and I will send you the CV template. And also, okay. Okay, I will upload it on LinkedIn. I also have 52 posts, which is a code to be used on LinkedIn. If anyone is interested to have those 52 codes, you can send me on LinkedIn, or you can send me on WhatsApp, and I can send you all the files. This is my WhatsApp number. If you are volunteering, yes, you have to mention where are you volunteering and the skills you had before the experience section, yes. Template of the CV, you can send me on WhatsApp or LinkedIn. I can send you the Word document format. You can use it. You can just edit on the template and use it for yourself. For the LinkedIn posts, also you can send me, and I can send you the codes. 52 posts already designed and ready to use on LinkedIn. Any question? How can I avoid graduating from college with a pretty empty CV, LinkedIn profile? I usually tell everyone to have a volunteering experience during his college, and also to have training courses. By the way, you can post on LinkedIn the training session you had today. Can you send a template that you use in preparation? You mean the CV template? What if we have many experiences and volunteers, and you can add every experience you have? Yes, you have to write all the details.
Yeah, but for example, I mean, what if, for example, they are more than 70 or more than 80? Then if I'm going to write all the responsibilities and skills, etc., it
Yes,
will take more than maybe 100 pages then. So
but
how
more
can
than 70, more than
yes,
70 what? Volunteering
experiences,
experience?
yes, and work experiences, etc. So is it, let's say, يعني, important to write the details, يعني, the responsibilities and the tasks, the skills that we've learned from all these experiences? And because even without me writing يعني, the details for each one, it's around يعني, 7-8 pages. So if I'm going to add all of these, then يعني, it will be no one is going even to look at it. So is it always required to write the responsibilities and the skills and everything we got from what we participated in?
Okay, the purpose of writing the duties and responsibilities is to write the keywords for the future jobs we are looking for. Of course, if someone had so many experiences, working experience during 5 or 6 years, that means he has some issues, because you can't just stay at a company for less than a year and keep moving from an organization to another in months. So we have to be careful that for me, I prefer minimum duration at any company is to be at least 1 year at that company. So at the age of 40 or 45, yani, you wouldn't have an experience or positions more than 5 to 7
Yeah.
roles
Yeah,
or
but I mean
positions.
for the volunteering experiences and extracurricular work. So these can go as well.
Volunteering experience, the volunteering experience, you can write the events or conferences you participated in without mentioning the duties and responsibilities for each one. But at least write the duties and responsibilities that will where you can add the keywords that you will need for the future job or position.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
اوكي عبد الرحمن، بالنسبة لرقم تليفوني يس هو عليه واتساب. Okay, we'll write my number again. Okay, this is my mobile number. Okay, this is for everyone. Okay. Yes. Okay. How can managers know if someone is cheating about something in his CV? That's why we always check the LinkedIn profile before asking anyone to come for an interview. This is the answer, Nadine. That's why you have to be careful on what you post on LinkedIn. Acceptable number of pages that we can have on our CV. For me, I prefer if you are 20 to 25 years old, the maximum number of pages is 3 pages. Between 25 and 30, it should be between 3 and 5 pages. 30 to 40, it should be between 5 to 7 or 8 pages. If it was a long time ago, can I document it? Yes, you can, and you can share it on LinkedIn as a memory. Yeah, you can write the post or start the post with, I remember 5 years ago, I participated in 1, 2, 3, 4, and this made me have the skills I needed today to do the following. So yes, you can add it. How we could prove that we have soft skills examples. How can you prove the soft skills? That will be in the working experience, volunteering experience, and the certificates you had. That's why I prefer that anyone should work during his study. And for me, I used to work during the college and to volunteer at many events. Another question. Print certificates and take them to the interview? Of course not. Generation Y don't prefer that at all. If they ask for an evidence, they will ask you to send them the certificates, the e-certificate. What documents do I have to take with me to the interview? Nothing. I'm from Jordan. أهلا يا رزان. In the interview, they asked me a scientific question. I don't know its answer. What is the best answer? Why you don't know the answer أصلا? Mona, any technical question, I have to know the answer about it before entering the interview. You have to be well prepared for any technical question. I have to be well prepared for any technical question. This is my specialty. I have to be well prepared. For Generation Y, they can't accept that you don't know the answer about technical questions related to your education or work experience. What if we panic? You have to practice before going to the interview. We all panic before the interview, and we all panic before doing anything new. That's why practicing will give you the confidence you need during the interview. Is there anything, courses or sessions that I can take to learn more about how I can improve my LinkedIn? Yes. First of all, you have to write your CV. Then you have to put all the details on your LinkedIn profile. I try my best to give some hints about LinkedIn in my content on LinkedIn, so you can use that. I prefer not to add a photo in the CV because if they printed out the CV before the interview, they usually print it in black and white. So the photo will not be that suitable. And we don't need the photo nowadays in the CV because they will already check my profile on LinkedIn before the interview. It doesn't work. The practice. The more you fail, the more confidence you will have in the next interview. So don't worry, Malika. Is there any evidence that proves that we attended this session? Yes, you can take a screenshot and post on LinkedIn. طيب. Thank you so much for this engaging session. Before we end the session, I would like to know your feedback about all the information and the session in general today. How do you feel? How was the session? Thank you, Jana. Thank you, Zahra. Okay. Great. Please, if anyone needed any more information about the LinkedIn, CV, or anything else, you can send me on LinkedIn. or you can send me on WhatsApp, and I would be more than happy to stay in contact with every one of you. Thank you, Kauthar, again for
No
this
worries.
lovely meeting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all, everyone.
This session. Thank you so much. It was really an amazing session, very informative. Like we've got to know more information and like even some details we didn't like pay attention to before, but now I believe everyone have noted all what you've said. So thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was really amazing having you, and like it's really our pleasure that you provided us with this session. So
Thank you so
thank you
much.
so much again.